This is your girl Tracy, and today I'll be talking about a very, very interesting topic. Actually, this is a question that was posed to me, and I will do my very best to answer it to the best of my ability. And again, this is my opinion. I'm not here to shove anything down anybody's throat, but as you know, darling, my opinion is very, very valid. So, before any further ado, please allow me to remind you what to do. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn your notification buttons on. You'll hear it first. So this is a question, and allow me to get into my phone. Wow, technology is about to get the best of me, but here we go. This is the question. Should couples split the bills, or should the male be the primary breadwinner? This is a two-part question and fully loaded. However, I will try my best to correlate the answer to this question. So, like I've always said, I'm a big believer in having the concrete conversations and agreements before you get into a relationship where you're going to live together with someone in order to have these activities taking place. Example, splitting the bills. However, I believe before you decide to live together, you should have the discussion who will be responsible for what. Example, if you are a man and you believe that you should be the primary breadwinner, this should be discussed and agreed upon at the beginning of the relationship. Before you decide to have keys and a lock and a door to push, you should agree upon that. Don't wait for you to get in the middle of the relationship, then you want to take charge, and taking charge means you start becoming controlling. Because sometimes, ladies, don't get too excited when you hear this man says, oh, I am going to be taking care of all of the bills. You don't have to worry, darling. You don't have to work. I will pay for your nails. I will pay for your hair. I will do all the grooming. That means sometimes, honey, that is a red flag. So you've got to be wary of that. Now, if this is a man who is just old school from day one, like my grandfather days, well, you know that this is a genuine situation and he wants to be a man of the cloth, a man of the Bible, and he just wants to be that man to take care of you, to make sure that you are always relaxed and you're basically going to be the housewife and you're just going to be, that wife who takes care of him, cater to him. You don't have to go out and break your nails. You will always just the well-to-do, just fancy. You can invite your friends over. You can have girls' time and he wants to take care of you. No problem. Just simply being the trophy wife. If that's what he wants, it has to be agreed upon at the beginning of the relationship. Now, ladies, not all of us are that lucky. So, my thing when it comes on to making sure who takes care of what bill, again, it has to be a conversation that should be had before you decide to live together. Now, in the real world and the real happenings, and like in my life and my world, we are in a situation where it is a 60-40 then, and I believe that it's an agreement where we decide that my husband pays the heavier bills and I pay the lighter bills. However, this was an agreement. Now, because we've already had the discussion, my husband do not have the expectation of me just jumping in and I must pay this, that, and that. Me have to pay off the rent, me have to pay off the bills, because that was never the discussion. We already agreed to it. He will take care of the heavier bills and I will foot the lighter bills. Now, ladies, you have to be smart. Remember, life happens, things change, and sometimes you're in a situation where it may be a fireization from the job. Maybe the business closed. Maybe you're laid off. So women, I believe that you should always have what you call a stash, your cushion. So in the event something happened to your primary breadwinner, in my sense, in my situation, because I have a stash, because I have my cushion, and your cushion should not be your savings. Remember, ladies, your cushion should not be the savings. Right? Your stash should not be your saving. Your savings should not be touched under any circumstances. That is why it's called an savings. Savings. It should not be touched frivolously. It should be touched because this is a mandatory situation that's happening. Example, sickness. Another reason why you touch your saving. Maybe college for your children. And for me personally, I believe in saving for everything. Right? That's what I believe in. Saving for everything. And so, ladies, for the stash, and remember, we live in the United States of America, where basically most of us are one paycheck away from homelessness. So what you need to do, you should always have that stash. So if the primary breadwinner cannot fulfill the obligation and the agreement from the beginning of the relationship that was agreed upon, women, you should be able to fall in and fill the gap. If you have to pay all the rent, the mortgage, the car notes, you should be able to do that. Why? Because you should just not fall into the comfortability. If that is a word, you should not fall into that just because your husband or your boyfriend or your significant other decided to be the primary breadwinner. You just get comfortable and want to just start spend uncontrollably, just start go out of hairdresser, you just start wearing the biggest hairstyles, you start doing all these things. Ladies, nothing is wrong with that. I'm not telling you that you're not supposed to get your fancy nail like Cardi B, and I'm not telling you you're not supposed to get your fancy hairstyle like Beyonce, but trust and believe me, if you are in the economic standard that I live in, you always want to make sure you have your stash. You always want to make sure you have that cushion. Because you are 2, 3, 4 paychecks away from homelessness, and you are in the United States of milk and honey, and you know that honey is quickly and soon to be vinegar. Therefore, you do not want to be in a situation where you're about to get ready to get under a bridge. Why? Because you just think that everything that was discussed at the beginning of the relationship is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. Remember, life happened. Fireization from a job. Job laid off. The job is closed. The business is closed. Therefore, women, you should always be prepared to pick up the slack. You don't want when life happens, you are sitting down looking like what you call brother dog. You want to be able to fill the gap. Nothing is wrong with if your husband or your significant other decides to be the primary breadwinner. Nothing is wrong with that. Again, if you two decide to split the bill 50-50, nothing is wrong with splitting the bill 50-50. That means everyone agreed upon this kind of agreement or transaction happening in the middle during the relationship. Now you cannot decide to change your mind or pull out in the middle. or maybe because your significant other gets a raise, you feel like he's supposed to start paying a little bit more than you, or because her or whatever the dynamics of the relationship is, because somebody get a raise, that doesn't mean you should start looking to that person to pick up another 10%. Absolutely not, because that was not the agreement. The agreement was to pay 50-50. So it doesn't matter what happened during the dynamics of the finances. When you agree upon paying 50-50, it should still remain 50-50 because you already have an agreement. I do hope I answer this question to the best of my ability and to the best of my knowledge. And I will read the question again so we can understand. If you just started watching the video somewhere in the middle, you can understand what I was blubbering about. And this is the question. Should couples split the bills, or should the male become the primary breadwinner? So I believe I had answered the question in 3 parts. And I'm hoping that I was able to correlate all 3. So without any further ado, please allow me to remind you once more what to do. Remember to like, comment, share. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn your notification buttons on. You hear it first.